The trash bin swallowed her only shoes with a cruel thud. Maya's bare feet touched the cold street as neighbors watched and laughed. Her stepmother smiled with satisfaction. But in that moment of deep shame, something powerful was born inside the young girl, a burning promise that would change everything. Before watching full story, comment below from where you watching. Also like and subscribe for more stories. The old brown shoes sat by the door like two faithful friends. They were worn and patched, but they were all Maya had. Her father had bought them for her 3 years ago, just before he died. The leather was soft from wear, and there was a small heart drawn in faded ink on the left toe, something she had drawn when she was 8. Maya, her stepmother's voice cut through the morning air like a knife. Come here right now. Maya ran down the creaky stairs of their small house. Her stepmother, Mrs. Chin, stood in the kitchen with her hands on her hips. Behind her, Maya's 2 stepsisters giggled quietly. Look at this mess, Mrs. Chin pointed to the floor. There were muddy footprints leading from the door to the stairs. Did you walk through the garden again? Maya looked down. Yes, but I was just getting flowers for Dash. Those dirty shoes of yours are ruining my clean floors. Mrs. Chen's face turned red with anger. I'm tired of this. Give them to me. Please no, Maya whispered. These are my only shoes. Papa gave them to me. Your father is gone, child. And these ugly things don't belong in my house anymore. Mrs. Chen grabbed the shoes from by the door. Maya watched in horror as her stepmother walked outside. She followed, her bare feet already feeling the cold morning ground. Mrs. Chen marched straight to the big trash bin at the end of their street and threw the shoes inside. There, she said, brushing her hands together. Maybe now you'll learn to keep things clean. Maya ran to the trash bin, but Mrs. Chen grabbed her arm. Don't you dare. Those shoes are gone, and that's final. You can walk barefoot until you learn some respect. The other children on the street stopped and stared. Maya felt her cheeks burn with shame. Her stepsisters laughed behind their hands. The cold concrete hurt her feet, but not as much as the pain in her heart. That night, Maya lay in her small bed in the attic. Her feet were cut and dirty from walking on the rough streets. But something else was growing inside her, a fire that hadn't been there before. One day, she whispered to the stars outside her tiny window, one day I'll show them all. I'll prove that I'm worth something. I'll make Papa proud wherever he is. The next morning brought new challenges. Maya had to walk to school barefoot. The other children pointed and whispered. Some laughed. Others just stared with pity. Maya held her head high and kept walking. Her teacher, Miss Rodriguez, noticed right away. Maya, where are your shoes? I lost them, Maya lied. She couldn't tell the truth. It was too embarrassing. Miss Rodriguez looked sad but didn't ask more questions. After class, she quietly gave Maya an old pair of shoes from the lost and found box. They were too big and had holes, but they were better than nothing. Thank you, Maya said, tears in her eyes. You're a smart girl, Maya, Miss Rodriguez said gently. Don't let anyone make you think otherwise. Years passed like pages in a difficult book. Maya grew taller, but life didn't get easier. Mrs. Chin made sure Maya did all the hard work at home. She cooked, cleaned, and took care of everything while her stepsisters played and went to parties. At school, Maya worked harder than everyone else. She stayed late in the library reading every book she could find. She learned about business, about art, about the world beyond her small town. While other kids played, Maya dreamed. When she turned 16, something wonderful happened. The local theater was looking for young actors for a play. Maya had always loved acting. She used to perform little shows for her father when she was small. I want to try out, she told Mrs. Chin. Don't be silly, her stepmother laughed. You're not pretty enough for acting. Besides, you have work to do here. But Maya didn't give up. She snuck out to the auditions and performed a piece she had practiced in her room. The director, Mr. James, was amazed. You have real talent, he said. I'd like you to play the lead role. For the first time in years, Maya felt truly happy. She threw herself into the role, practicing every day. When the play opened, people came from all over town to watch. Maya was brilliant on stage. She forgot about her worn clothes and her difficult life. On stage, she was someone else, someone confident and beautiful. After the show, a woman in an expensive suit approached her. I'm Sarah Mitchell, she said, handing Maya a business card. I represent young actors in the city. You have something special. Would you like to come audition for bigger roles? Maya's heart raced. This was her chance, her way out. Mrs. Chen was furious when she found out. You will not go to the city, she said firmly. Your place is here, taking care of this house. But this could change my life, Maya pleaded. Your life is here. End of discussion. That night, Maya made the hardest decision of her life. She packed her few belongings in an old bag and left a note. "I'm sorry, but I have to follow my dreams. I'll send money when I can. Maya." She walked to the bus station in the early morning darkness, wearing the same old shoes Miss Rodriguez had given her years ago. As the bus pulled away, Maya watched her town disappear. She was scared, but for the first time she was also free. The city was huge and frightening. Maya lived in a tiny apartment with 3 other girls. She worked at a coffee shop during the day and went to auditions at night. Most of the time directors said no. "Not quite right," they would say. "Maybe next time." Maya's money ran low. Some nights she ate only bread and water. Her shoes fell apart and she had to tape them together. Other actors made fun of her cheap clothes and nervous manner. "Give up," one girl told her after a particularly bad audition. "You don't have what it takes." Maya wanted to cry, but she remembered that day when her stepmother threw away her shoes. She remembered the promise she made to the stars. "I won't give up," she said quietly. Slowly things began to change. Maya got small parts in plays and commercials. She saved every penny and took acting classes. She watched other actors and learned from them. Her confidence grew with each role. One day Sarah Mitchell called with exciting news. "There's a role in a big movie," she said. "It's perfect for you. The character is a girl who overcomes poverty to become successful. The director wants to meet you." Maya's hands shook as she prepared for the audition. She wore her best dress, which wasn't very good, and her newest shoes, which were still old and worn. The audition room was full of beautiful actresses in expensive clothes. Maya felt small and out of place. But when her turn came, something magical happened. She thought about her father, about walking barefoot through cold streets, about all the nights she went hungry. She poured all of that pain and hope into her performance. The room was silent when she finished. Then the director started clapping. "That's it," he said. "That's exactly what I was looking for. The role is yours." Maya couldn't believe it. After years of struggle, her big break had finally come. The movie took 8 months to make. Maya worked with famous actors and learned so much. When it was finished, everyone said it would be a big success. The night of the movie premiere was like a fairy tale. Maya stood in front of her mirror, hardly recognizing herself. She wore a beautiful red dress that sparkled under the lights. Her hair was styled perfectly, and her makeup was done by a professional artist. But the most amazing part was her shoes. They were designer heels, covered in tiny diamonds that caught the light like stars. They cost more than Maya used to make in a year. As she stepped out of the car at the premiere, cameras flashed everywhere. The red carpet stretched out in front of her like a river of dreams. Hundreds of fans called her name. Maya walked slowly down the carpet, remembering another walk, one she took barefoot and ashamed through the streets of her hometown. With each step in her beautiful shoes, she felt stronger. A reporter stopped her for an interview. "Maya, you've become such an inspiration to young people everywhere. What would you say to someone who feels like giving up on their dreams?" Maya thought for a moment. "I would tell them that our worst moments can become our greatest strength. When I was young, someone took away the only shoes I had and made me walk barefoot. I was so embarrassed and hurt. But that moment taught me something important, that no one can take away what's inside you. Your dreams, your talent, your determination, those belong to you." She paused and smiled. "Every time I put on a beautiful pair of shoes now, I remember that little girl who walked barefoot but never stopped dreaming. She's still with me and she's the reason I never gave up." Later that night, after all the cameras and interviews, Maya sat in her hotel room. She took off her diamond shoes and held them in her hands. Then she picked up her phone and called Mrs. Chen. "Hello?" Her stepmother's voice sounded older and tired. "It's Maya," she said gently. There was a long silence. "Maya? Is it really you? We saw you on television. The whole town is talking about you." "I called to say thank you," Maya said. "Thank me? But I was so cruel to you. I threw away your shoes. I made your life so hard." "You did," Maya agreed. "But you also gave me something precious. You gave me the strength to prove myself. That day you threw away my shoes, you also threw away my fear of being powerless. I learned that I could survive anything." Mrs. Chen was crying now. "I'm so sorry, Maya. I was jealous and bitter and I took it out on you. Can you ever forgive me?" "I already have," Maya said. "And I want to help you and the girls now if you'll let me." The next morning Maya went shopping. She bought dozens of pairs of beautiful shoes, heels and boots, sneakers and sandals in every color and style. Then she drove home to her little town. When she knocked on Mrs. Chen's door, her stepmother opened it with tears in her eyes. Maya handed her a big box. "What's this?" Mrs. Chen asked. "Shoes," Maya smiled. "For you and the girls. Because everyone deserves to walk through life with dignity." That afternoon, Maya visited her old elementary school. Miss Rodriguez was still there, now the principal. She cried when she saw Maya. "I always knew you were special," she said, hugging her tight. Maya set up a scholarship fund for students who couldn't afford basic school supplies. She also started a program to provide shoes for children in need. "No child should have to walk barefoot unless they choose to," she told the local newspaper. Years later, Maya became one of the most respected actresses in the world. She won awards and traveled to amazing places. But she never forgot where she came from. In her beautiful home, she kept a special place of honor for two things: a photo of her father and a pair of old brown shoes. Not her original shoes, those were lost forever, but a similar pair she found at a thrift store. Every morning before putting on whatever expensive shoes her day required, Maya would touch those old brown shoes and whisper, "Thank you, Papa, for teaching me that true worth comes from inside. And thank you to that brave little girl who refused to give up." Sometimes the hardest moments in our lives become the foundation for our greatest victories. Maya learned that losing her shoes didn't make her less. It made her realize she was already enough, just as she was. And that realization carried her from the cold streets where she once walked barefoot to the bright stages where she now dances in shoes that sparkle like the stars she used to wish upon. The little girl who was once forced to walk without shoes had grown into a woman who helped others find their own path to walk tall and proud.